Hey guys, it's Hannah and welcome back to the Dyslexic Reader, and today we are going to be talking about 8 books that I would really like to get to at some point in 2018. These books are in no particular order, they're just in the order I lift them off my shelf in, and we have 6 standalones and then 2 series that I want to start or continue on with this year. And I've hopefully, fingers crossed, these are books that I've had for quite a while and would just like to get to this year so I can tick them off my list. The first is Jaws. I'm sure I don't really have to explain what this is about, but Jaws is one of my favourite movies, but I also have like a really morbid fascination with sharks. Sharks are probably one of my biggest fear, and yet I can't stop reading about them, watching documentaries about them. Like, I'm so fascinated and scared by them at the same time. And Jaws is one of my favourite movies, and I have never read the book, and I meant to get to it last summer and for whatever reason never did. So hopefully this summer, if I'm staying at the beach, I can pick this bad boy up and get petrified. The second book I've picked is Blame by Simon Mayo. This is kind of a dystopian. It's set in the future where people can be blamed for relatives' crimes. So I don't know much about it, but say if my grandfather committed murder and he was never caught or they didn't have the evidence, then I could be sentenced to life in prison because of him. Or if he got 40 years and died after serving 22 years, then I would have to do the other 18 or whatever, and the next of kin and the relatives have to suffer for the crimes of their ancestors. And I just thought that was a really interesting topic, and sort of like crime and punishment and jails and stuff is something I'm into and watch a lot of documentaries on anyway, so I would just be interested to see what this one's about. The third book on my list is Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel, and this is another one that I've been wanting to read for ages. It's about a post-apocalyptic travelling Shakespearean actor group, as far as I'm aware, which just sounds amazing. I've only heard good things and it sounds like a load of fun. I picked this up at a charity shop, well, a second-hand bookstore, for like £1. I hadn't never heard anything about it, but since I've had it, I've been hearing loads of good things about it and I just haven't got around to it yet. I also want to get through the Romanovs from 1613 to 1918, which is when the Romanovs were czars of Russia. This is a period in history I'm really interested in. This is a big book, but I'm hopefully starting it next week when I go on holiday, and it's filled with pictures. Obviously the older ones are just pictures of the portraits, and then the more recent ones are actually photographs, and it just goes through the whole 300 odd years that the Romanovs were in power, and that's pretty much it. It's non-fiction. It sounds great. Keeping up with my New Year's goal of reading larger, chunkier books, this is another large one. Let's see, it's about 1,000 pages. And this is Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norwell by Susanna Clarke. This is, I think it's YA, new adulty kind of age, and it's set in the early 1800s, and it's about 2 magicians, I believe a British one and a French one, and they are against each other, I think. I don't know much about it. I like to go into my books blind, but I've heard, again, great things about this. I had been wanting to read it for ages. My library didn't have it, and I couldn't find it online secondhand anywhere, and then one day I walked into a secondhand shop and it was there for like £2, so you gotta grab those deals. The last book I want to mention, I don't yet own a physical copy. I don't feel like reading an e-book is going to be the best way to do it either. So I'm going to try and purchase a copy between now and 1st of July, because that's when I'm going to start it on my birthday, and that is War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy. This is one of those books I just really want to read it, just as an achievement, you guys. Obviously, if I'm not enjoying it, I'll do an effort, but I want to at least give it a go. Sue from Sue's Book Nook last year, a couple of booktubers on a read along. Obviously I'm out of that, but Sue sent me over the schedule that they use, like how they broke it down daily on how much they had to read to get it finished in 2 months, and I think I'm going to use that schedule and try to finish it in July and August, because 1st of July is my birthday and I'm just going to kick it off then and see how far I get. Then the last 2 books that I want to talk about are series. The first one is a series that I want to start, and that is the Chronicles of Narnia by Lloyd Alexander. These are, if anyone's seen the Black Cauldron, which is a Disney movie, which is probably one of my favourite Disney movies of all time, it's the second book in this, so I'm not sure how the first book runs, but it's absolutely one of my favourite movies. I only found out last year that these were a book series and I had to pick them up right away. I got them all second hand for pretty cheap, like £1 or £2 a book, and all in the same series, which was pretty good. And then once I got like the full series, I wanted to dive in, and for some reason I just haven't. I love like Arthurian Legend, and this is the kind of vibe that this series gives. And I don't know what's holding me back. I think I'm afraid that I'm not going to like it. And that's sometimes what happens to me. If I get a book that I've really wanted for a long time and then I get it, then I don't get to it right away, I start to think, well, I've had that for so long, like what if I don't like it? Like it took me so long to collect all this series secondhand in the same editions, and what if I don't like it? So I think that's what's holding me back. But I think I will like it, and I really should just 2018 plunge in and start this series. The next series I have, I'm already halfway through it, and that is the Sally Lockhart Quartet by Philip Pullman. I have already read Ruby in the Smoke and The Shadow of the North, but I have yet to read The Tin Princess or The Tiger in the Well, and these are the two largest books in the series. This is a Victorian London murder mystery, which is all my tick boxes, and I really enjoyed these series. I've given the first 2 5 stars. I love the character, I love the concept, I love the writing style, it's so good. But I read the first 2 during the summer, and for some reason I felt like they were really summery reads, even though they're in dark, cold, smoky London. To me they just felt like summery reads. So by the time I'd finished the first 2, it was like the end of August, and I didn't feel like picking up the next one, so I think I'm going to wait to summer and read these 2 this summer. And I hope the story goes, because the last one kind of left us on a bit of a, not a cliffhanger, but a bit of a moment with one of our characters, so I'm interested to see how that pans out. That is some of the books I want to get to in 2018. Hopefully at the end of the year I can come back to this video and update you guys and let you know what I got to and not, but I'm really hoping to get to all of these this year. I hope you're all happy, I hope you're all healthy, and hopefully I'll see you in my next video. Goodbye!